still remain and have an intact farming pattern.
Alright, get the emblems again. I think this Inspire from CC is quite interesting. It's fun though. No cooldown. Yeah, it's very interesting to see that Darren has also gone for Purify, by the way. I'm really trying to digest the Inspire, the idea behind that Inspire, and the Purify from Darren. I guess it's because of what we said earlier. Remember game 1, BTR versus Na'Vi, when they picked CC against the Cho? I was saying it's usually bad against the Cho because you just get kicked because you have to go Vengeance. But here, Darren has gone for Purify, so that kind of solves the Cho problem.
Meanwhile, already charging here in the mid lane. I think they're looking for the proper setup for.
16 ada hero sabar yang ditampilkan di profilnya. Boleh lah. Udah 4 kali meetingnya dan 4 kali glory juga.
Bisa apa kalian main bener sedikit aja? Ya harus.
Enim, Rama dan
finds the jungler. Now AUG trying to provide cover, and that does it. Geek Fam backs away.
Yeah, they didn't really want to overcommit onto that. Even without the AOG from happening, Sutsujin was still okay. I don't think the damage is enough to penetrate him in this early portion of the game. Meanwhile, it seems like Beloyski's initial plan isn't really coming to fruition.
Oh, that's a steal. Now Rin's very low, and he will be taken down. Make it through first blood in the second game.
Well played. Saw that Edok walked over, and then he just went straight for the purple buff. Knows Edok used the taunt earlier. Sutsujin, no retreat. Really good move by Maykids there, outplaying RQ.
Meanwhile, Maykids is kind of low here. Sutsujin is in the vicinity.
3v1 now with the Feather Airstrike already spent as well, and Maykids will grab his second kill in this game.
That was a 3 versus 1 kind of situation. I don't think Sutsujin can get away with that. There's a lot of bursts coming in from a boy, even in this early part of the game as a Pharsa. In terms of items, is there anything special that we're looking at that they're heading towards?
So far, not yet. I guess we could point out again that everybody is going for tough boots, knowing that there is going to be an abundance of magic damage from Geek Fam, only magic damage. Beloyski's the only guy who's going to be able to deal physical damage, so yeah, everybody's putting the emphasis on magic damage. Even Dyron going for another cloak on top of the tough boots, so yeah, you can definitely understand that idea of just building full magic def.
So far, he hasn't been participating too much. Once again, we're circling around in this mid lane. Beloyski's still looking for this opportunity, but it's not going to be as easy because, like you mentioned, both Dyron and Rins are on Purify. Last time we saw a little bit more pressure onto Toy too by Geek Fam, but in this particular game, they've kind of let him alone in this 1v1.
2v1, trying to just get the purple buff, and they got it right on RQ though. Now, what will they do? It seems like they're on the move on towards the turtle. Geek Fam, will they be able to respond this time?
Sutsujin is a level below, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll be able to contest again. Geek Fam have to respect that RQ have better control over the neutral objective. That's why they've just gone for trades on the board. Cho was literally just sitting in the bottom river. They know it's very hard to do that taunt.
The top watch was Veloy though. Maze Kids looking for Rins. Feather Airstrike as well connects, but that's going to be the Nether Realm committed there. So that's info for Geek Fam.
Absolutely, but Beloyski's a little low, so that's a forced recall. A boy gets hurt just a little bit, not too much to force anything crazy, but oh, it's R7! MPL IDX streamer by Good Day. I don't think he notices that he's being presented onto the screen just yet. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are looking for a different perspective, you can check out R7's restream right now.
He looked so confused for a while. Oh,
there you go. Finally reacts. Now he's surprised. Oh! Look at that Riz. Oh, what? Damn!
How's he doing that?
I have no idea.
That's magic right there. Way up to Dragon Dove. Connects onto his AOG to save his own life. Wow. What a connection.
No casualties, which is great. Toy, meanwhile, goes for the Sky Piercer. So it looks like he's quite positive that he will win and will be able to make that kind of trade. This is how many buffs have been taken away from Sutsujin.
So far, 3. And yeah, for Toy Sky Piercer, it's not really a risky move for Granger. This is just part of the core build. You always go for Sky Piercer, Hunter Strike, hits a Sky Piercer, man.
Whoa, Cops with the flicker as well. So aggressive, but the reinforcements is there. Dyron now looking for his own teammate. NetherRealm popped as well. Now, actually, Gauze is going to be isolated and will be taken down by Dyron. That's the first kill on the board for RRQ.
And you see, that's the brilliance of the Purify, man. Tyron opted to go for Purify, got out of the slam pass as he was mounted by the split of blue. Wait, the dragon.
Afterwards, one feather airstrike from a boy. Not the best positioning for Boy. Will fall first. Take it! Will not be able to escape that one. And RRQ, they claim the perfect turn.
And 3 kills to boot. So 1,500 gold lead now for the Kings of Kings as Chidera looks for a little bit of a trade here. That turret does go down in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, RQ, Sunsujin, looking for a little bit of revenge. Finally gets a purple buff and a purple buff from Geek to boot. Dyron picks up a turret, so that trade from Chidera instantly traded back by RQ. Quick thinking.
3-1 now, and purple buff steals. Take that. Make it. Jin, now with the War Axe, spawn 4 item completed with the Hunter Strike and the War Axe. Looking at the others, Toys building towards the BOD, and Chidera is comfortably getting to his item power spikes as well. Already sitting at, with the Feather of Heaven. But this is where it's becoming a problem. Dyron has built up Radiant Armor. Edok has built up Athena Shield. I wonder what's next for Dyron. It's probably going to be an Athena Shield.
Dyron now in trouble. It's with the CC though, but they have spent a lot of resources. Dyron will go down eventually. But take a look at the mid lane. He found pulse.
There's always
So
a trade.
goes their ability to control on the map, especially for Veloci. That is going to give him a little bit of a tougher time when it comes down to map control. Meanwhile, RQ on their next mission here, putting some pressure onto Chidera in the bottom lane. Luckily, Make Hits not standing idly by, gets a turret in the top lane too. So both of these teams are trying to trade into the macro, and RQ still needs to consider this as a way for Geekfam to come back into the game.
Wow. So looking at the items for Dyron again, he's not going to go for the Athena Shield. I think he's building towards an Oracle again to enhance what he already has built into this kit. That sustain for CC plus the Brave Smite plus the Oracle and War Axe, so even more sustain against the magic damage and just pure damage of Geek Fam.
So what does Chidera do now? Does he go direct Divine Glaive?
He has to go Holy Crystal first. I think even if he goes Divine Glaive, he's going to be lacking damage to get through. So just go for the normal build. Holy Crystal and then Divine Glaive. It'll take a while longer, but at least once he gets it will be a surefire power spike.
I guess that's the case. A boy though goes for the Divine Glaive, so he can afford that item build. Hopefully it does help, because this next Lord will be telling how the rest of this game goes. So Tsujin level 13, Make Kids is also at level 13, so there is technically a chance for them to go for a steal.
The thing is, RRQ have already done their homework, right? Slow push up top. It's a forced error now. They can just play the long game, constantly going back and forth, playing with a slow push up top, and then dealing with the wave in the mid bot as they continue to just cycle the Lord. Geekfam will try to go for the decisive play.
See here, pulling the trigger. Doesn't really quite find the angle. And boy, in trouble! And he will fall with the wings by wings in hand. And that is him also. He spent his purifying. Let's see here, 5v4. Not in good shape for Geekfam. RRQ though, looking for something. Make Kids here will be taunted. And that's going to be Make Kids here. Surviving actually. Chidera dealing damage. But will it be enough? Gloves trying to sandbag, and Chidera finds one. Chidera, he might find more as Edok wins. Is on him finally. Good purifying on him. But that's going to be Voloisky jumping in the fray. AOG finds one. Gloves is gone. Way up the dragon will not do anything as he will be taken down as well. Chidera be positioning. A boy is in the area. Now, with the further strike, Edok will not find someone. It's going to be Dyron with the kill as well. RRQ, they are a menace.
Wings by wings out, but in the end, that's going to be a boy being able to escape. That was a very messy engage towards the start, right? Let's go for like a little bit of a replay there. Very, very transparent engage from Voloisky. RQ was able to read that really well. At some point, it was an awkward position coming in from Toy, but they had a little bit more in their arsenal, right? Dyron now, though.
See here, 5v5, surely. RQ, they have more than enough firepower here. Good mounts. On towards Dyron, though. Make it fail to find the connection for the steal there. And Gob surely will be taken down by Sutsujin. That's the Lord. And Gobs.
Well played against RQ. The fact that defense trying to make it chaotic in that skirmish. Having the Herald means that you can actually force out those battles, those brawls. And RQ took it. They had another round. They were stuck there. Toy able to kite away, but not for long. Again, Shadera bouncing back and forth with the Chrono Dash, man. Just dealing so much damage as he got the Holy Crystal earlier. So that power spec is going to be coming in very quickly as over Shadera, that Divine Glaive, as he got 2 kills, Sutsujin and Toy. But RQ, even in the long battles, they were able to sustain and to outlast Geekfam. In the end, it was RQ with Dyron getting the dub again. Gobs mounted in to Purify out to safety once more, and then a clean retry from Sutsujin. Now it's just about how they utilize the Lord. Beloy,
Dyron actually might be caught here. Good recovery, though. With another round, Beloyski flickers out of danger. Edog, with the help of Toy as well. That will secure Beloy. It falls again. RQ now applying more pressure. Top lane Nakeds has cleared that lane. Though, RQ, they move on towards the bottom side of the map here. Geek Fam, just one card. Will they be able to find something? Not yet, though. That will be RQ playing it slow. Perhaps applying pressure towards the mid lane. Another airstrike to relieve off pressure. I don't know. Mobilize here is able to walk away.
They're going to be able to clear out the lane in the bottom side of the map. So all in all, despite them losing here and there, Geekfam are still holding on to their main structures, and that's what's important, especially as we get to the next Lord fight. It seems like Gobs is opening up the map here. Rins is in the vicinity. Oh, look at Beloyski, though. Is he going in for a cheeky play? I think it's a little too risky. He's alone. There's no backup. There's no Luo Yi. There's no Chip. All right, he just goes back for more information, perhaps.
And for RQ again, it's just about that slow game. Once they have the lead, it's template when we get to this portion of the game for RQ. They find themselves in this situation almost every single game, winning out the early and then having this lead so that they can just freeze. Geekfam, they can't walk up. They really can't. If they walk up, they're going to get punished. There's so many angles of attack because look at RQ's tempo on the map. They can constantly just use this map pressure to walk into enemy jungle. So at least Divine Glaive is done for Chidera, right? So that's the power spike that we were waiting for Chidera. Now he's going to be doing even more damage, and he'll be able to threaten some of the front lines from RQ. But with that, Divine Glaive, Dyron and Lidok have also built themselves quite an amazing 2-3 items of magic defense. Oracle, Radiant, building to Athena now, Dyron. Athena, Radiant already done for Edok, and I believe he's on the way to a Queen's Wings. So damage reduction on top of the magic def that he has. Rose Gold, obviously, also for Sutsujin and for Toy. They have so much magic defense.
But if played well, the core members on the side of RQ can still be taken down. So if Geekfam can replicate that chaos like they were able to in the previous team fights, then it's still going to be a problem for Toy as well as Rins.
Baton on towards Beloy. Flickers out of the way. Rins very low. Edok now. Still sandbagging here. Mobilize AOG defensively. Beloyski, Wave Dragon doesn't really find the right connection. Another realm will save its life. Beloyski will fall alongside Edok. Comes now, being the main priority. Dyron finds it. 2 for 1 in favor of RQ.
Okay. I don't know. Does RQ want to continue this? Oh, Chidera keeps going in.
Miscalculation there by Rins. Chidera now going ham in the mid lane. Dyron now, being the main sandbag, is able to sidestep its makers. Looking for another angle here. Good recovery from the Geeks.
I don't think they were expecting that, right? 2 members down from the side of Geek. They definitely didn't expect Chidera to go dive in headfirst under turret to take him down. Luckily, though, Rins is back in the fray, and it's still a man advantage in favor of RRQ.
Yeah, Rins is the only guy who can't do that, to walk up against the Herod. He doesn't have the magic defense that the others have. He only has a Blood Wings and a Tough Boot, so Rins is the only guy that should not be doing that. To be fair, Toy probably shouldn't be doing that as well, but at least he has Rose Gold.
It should be Edok and Dyron. Chadera. See here. AOG on towards the Lord's Pit. Syzygy joins the fray. Lays falls for it alongside Edok. 3 members now only left standing for the Kings of Kings as Geek. They will take over the Lord's Pit. Again, RQ tried to force that, man. They took control. They wanted to take control back against Geek Fam. Geek Fam have been too clean with it. Beloyski, Jikundo. Ooh, wow. Geek Fam, the pace set by Chadera. Once we saw that Divine Glaive, it started threatening the frontliners. But man, was that quick. Like, he dealt with Edok so quick. Rins was forced to come in to try to save Edok with another realm, but he got bursted instead. They have to play in cycles here. Once the Zaman Force is used up, that's a green light to actually stop. Move back. Once the Zaman Force window is elapsed, then they try to re-engage. But if they fight the Zaman Force, they're not going to win.
We saw that happening. Speaking of burst, right? Feather Airstrike also doing work alongside with Chadera. Really good cover as well by a boy on the far side. You can see it's one of his top 5 most picked heroes as that game fun fact came in by GoPay earlier on. There it is, the Feather Airstrike opened up already. Zoning him out. Chadera gonna be able to deal some damage onto the turret.
Yep, base turret top lane will fall. Lord now being the main priority. Syzygy though, relatively low. Base turret in the bottom side here, very weak. Almost taken care of here. Oh, and the minions will do its job. 2 base turrets here.
On the side lanes. So this is the result that you'd expect Geek to be in just a few minutes ago, and yet it's Geek that have taken these side lanes. So when it comes down to control over the Lord, which will spawn in under 80 seconds, that's something that they have in the bag over RQ now. A lot more homework for them to deal with.
Chadera the hyper carry. You want to know how much damage he's done?
How much?
87,408 damage dealt so far. That's only going to climb up. Compare it to Toy. Toy has only done 51,000. Dyron is actually leading in damage dealt for RRQ with 63,000. So, yeah, the fact that Chadera has now gone to Bloodwigs 2 means he's going to be harder to kill with the Purify. With the Zaman Force, it's already kind of impossible to kill for RRQ. They really need to bait the Zaman Force. It's way easier said than done, by the way, but that's how they can win. Because if they find the Zaman Force, it's GG.
That's a win condition that needs to be met. And it's surprising because even from the drafts, I guess the one-dimensional source of damage is not necessarily a problem here. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, it's because once Joy and Harith makes it to late game with the Divine Glaive, even if you have a lot of magic defense, it's only going to prolong the inevitable. You deal so much damage, especially because for Joy, at least, okay, Joy comes in, 1 cycle of skills, you get through that, you're done with Joy, right? But the Harith, it never stops. When you're in Zaman Force, that damage never stops. So it's constant burst. It's like DPS burst. And Chadera has sold his boots for Oracle. I was thinking, why Oracle? There's no magic. Only Fairness on the other side, but it's to make his shielding, his healing even bigger. So whenever he dashes with the Chrono Dash, look at the shield. Okay, though, seems like they're poking here. Oh, you know, very low. Winter Crown here, perhaps to buy time for his Nether Realm is there, and he is a-okay. Gobs, though, now half HP. Trying to reposition RQ, though. They are trying to pull Gobs to his death, and Toy takes the kill. 5v4 with the Lord up.
That's what you were talking about, right? Wait for the Shaman Force to be popped up, and they were able to withstand that, utilize the Nether Realm as well to the final portion of the game, and they went in for a re-engage. And now, though, Beloyski...
Oh, the flicker could now. Is this the right call? Wave Dragon doesn't really land to where he wanted to. Dyron now providing damage onto his make is okay. Doesn't really find the right connection, but make it falls. Now Beloyski loses immortality to Terra, though. It's free hitting.
Rata.
With Dyron and Toy being a contribution. Immortality's popping left and right of Chadera. Is saved. A boy shuts Dyron down, but Chadera cut tube. No mortality. Feather Airstrike. Chadera shuts him down. Syzygy now being alone. 2v1. Very low as well. Syzygy escaped, but boy denies it. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's just Rin standing their way as the minions actually did most of its work. Will Rin's able to escape his
Minion. Ini Ona ya.
Game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no way he can defend. Three for Geek as they have forced RRQ into yet another game loss.
Jeez, we all deserve a game 3. After what defense did in game 1. Chadera, brother. Oh my goodness. Chadera on the Harris yesterday. Got what, double-digit kills. Now he does it almost again. 9-1-3, but it's not about